The Hamilton Grand Hotel's marble floors echoed with designer heels and polite laughter as Boston's elite gathered for the annual charity gala. From my position near the service entrance, I watched my sister-in-law Victoria holding court in the grand ballroom, basking in her role as event chair. "Remember," she'd sneered at me earlier, perfectly manicured hand gesturing toward the back door. "Service staff uses the service entrance. We can't have you embarrassing the family by coming through the main lobby." I'd smiled, thinking about the paperwork sitting on my desk at home. The deed to the Hamilton Grand Hotel, purchased through my holding company last month. They had no idea that their prestigious venue now belonged to the woman they forced to use the back door. "Miss Bennett." My assistant Claire's voice came through my earpiece. "The locksmith will be here Monday morning. Are you sure you want to do this?" "Absolutely," I replied quietly, watching Victoria air kiss another socialite. It's time they learned about real estate ownership. 5 years ago I'd been welcomed through the front door. Back when I was just Thomas Hamilton's quiet wife, content to stand in his family's shadow. Before I'd dared to suggest investing the family money in commercial real estate instead of their failing retail ventures. "Real estate is boring," Victoria had declared during that fateful family meeting. "Shops, boutiques, that's where the real money is." My husband had nodded along with his sister, always eager to please. "Catherine doesn't understand business," he'd added apologetically. "She just needs to focus on being a proper Hamilton wife." So I'd done exactly that. Smiled, nodded, played the perfect wife while they hemorrhaged money on overpriced boutiques. All while quietly building my own real estate empire under my maiden name. Bennett Properties now owned half the premium commercial space in Boston. Hotels, office buildings, luxury apartments, all acquired through careful planning and market intelligence. The Hamilton family, too busy maintaining their social status to notice, had no idea their venues were being bought one by one. "The guest list for next month's charity ball just arrived," Claire reported. "They're planning to use the Hamilton Grand again." I smiled. Not without my approval. A burst of laughter drew my attention back to the ballroom. Victoria was now at the microphone, preparing for her annual speech about family legacy and charitable giving. "The Hamiltons have always believed in giving back," she began, her voice carrying that practiced warmth that never reached her eyes. "This venue, the prestigious Hamilton Grand Hotel, represents everything our family stands for." If she only knew. My phone buzzed, a text from Thomas. "Where are you? Mother's asking." I didn't respond. Let them wonder. Let them search the service areas where they'd banished me. "The catering staff reports Mrs. Hamilton is getting anxious," Claire updated me. "Should I tell them you're inspecting the property?" "No," I replied. "Let them think I've left. It'll make Monday more interesting." I thought back to the day I discovered the Hamilton Grand was for sale. The previous owners, tired of the family's entitled attitude and late payments, had jumped at my offer. Victoria had no idea her perfect venue was slipping through her fingers while she planned this very gala. "And now," Victoria's voice rang out, "I'd like to announce next month's charity ball. Once again the Hamilton Grand will host." "Miss Bennett." Claire interrupted my thoughts. "The property manager needs your signature on some documents. Shall I tell him to use your full name on the new contracts?" "Yes," I decided. "Catherine Bennett, owner." It's time they knew exactly who they're dealing with. I watched my mother-in-law Margaret join Victoria on stage, both of them glowing with self-importance. Last week they'd spent 3 hours arguing with the hotel staff about place settings, dropping the Hamilton name like it still meant something. "Don't you know who we are?" Margaret had demanded. "This hotel practically belongs to us." Oh, the irony. Thomas appeared at my elbow, startling me. "There you are." Mother's furious. "Why aren't you seated at the family table?" "Your sister made it clear where I belong," I replied calmly. "Kat, don't be difficult. Victoria's just trying to maintain standards. You know how important image is to the family." I studied my husband of 7 years, wondering when he'd become such a puppet to his family's pretense. Yes, image is everything to the Hamiltons. Even more important than actual success. He frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "You'll find out Monday." I turned away, but he caught my arm. "Catherine, you're my wife. You need to start acting like a proper Hamilton." I gently removed his hand. "No, Thomas. I'm a businesswoman who made the mistake of marrying into a family of pretenders. But that's about to change. What are you talking about? You'll see. I nodded toward Victoria, still preening on stage. Your sister's about to learn an expensive lesson about judging people. I left him standing there, confusion clouding his features. Making my way through the service corridors. Might as well use them one last time. I smiled thinking about Monday morning. Claire was waiting in my car. Everything's prepared for Monday. The new security team is hired, the locks are scheduled to be changed and the lawyers are ready. Perfect. I looked back at the Hamilton Grand, its elegant facade glowing in the evening light. Let them enjoy their last weekend of pretending they own this place. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as changing the locks and watching their perfect world crumble. Should I have your office set up in the penthouse suite? Claire asked. Yes. I want a perfect view when they try to enter through the front door on Monday. The Hamilton family had spent years teaching me my place. Now I was about to teach them theirs. Monday morning dawned bright and clear as I sat in my new penthouse office, watching the drama unfold through the hotel's security feeds. Victoria arrived first, storming through the front entrance like she owned the place. Or rather like she used to. I'm sorry, ma'am, the new security guard said politely. Do you have an appointment? Appointment. Victoria's voice rose an octave. I'm Victoria Hamilton. This is practically our hotel. I don't see any Hamiltons on the approved access list, the guard replied, checking his tablet. If you'd like to make a reservation, you can contact the management office. Claire's voice came through my intercom. Your mother-in-law and husband just pulled up. Should I have security stall them? No, I smiled. Let them all gather. This should be entertaining. Within minutes, the lobby had filled with indignant Hamiltons. Margaret demanding to speak to the manager. Thomas trying to use his family name to gain access. Victoria threatening to call her lawyers. Time for my entrance. The elevator doors opened silently as I stepped into the lobby. Gone was the quiet, accommodating wife they'd dismissed. Today I wore power like armor. A perfectly tailored suit, elegant heels clicking against my marble floors. What is the meaning of this? Margaret demanded, turning toward me. Catherine, thank goodness. Tell these people who we are. Oh, I'll tell them exactly who you are, I replied calmly. You're trespassers unless I say otherwise. The lobby fell silent. What are you talking about? Victoria sneered, but uncertainty had crept into her voice. I nodded to Claire, who distributed folders to each family member. Inside you'll find the deed to the Hamilton Grand Hotel, purchased last month by Bennett Properties. My company. Thomas stared at the documents, face pale. Your company? But you're just what? I asked softly. Just your wife. Just the woman you told to stay quiet and look pretty? While you were losing money on boutiques, I was building an empire. Victoria snatched the papers from Thomas's hands. This is impossible. You don't have this kind of money. Bennett Properties owns 30 premium properties across Boston, I informed them. The Hamilton Grand is just the latest acquisition. Though I must say, it was satisfying to buy the venue you've used to humiliate me for years. Margaret sank onto a lobby sofa, her perfect posture crumbling. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have listened? I walked closer, enjoying the way they backed away. You were too busy maintaining your social facade to notice that real estate, boring, beneath you real estate, was making me wealthy while your retail ventures failed. The charity ball, Victoria whispered. Next month's event is cancelled, I confirmed. In fact, all Hamilton family events at this venue are cancelled. Permanently. You can't do this to us. Margaret stood up, hands shaking. We're family. Family. I laughed. Was it family when you forced me to use the service entrance? When you treated me like staff at your events? When you dismissed every suggestion I made because I wasn't born into your precious social circle? Thomas stepped forward. Catherine, be reasonable. We can work something out. Actually, we can't. I turned to face my husband. The divorce papers will be delivered this afternoon. Consider this my farewell gift, showing you exactly who you underestimated. Victoria's face had turned an interesting shade of red. This is revenge. No, I corrected her. This is business. The kind of business you never bothered to understand. The Hamilton Grand will be renovated, modernized, and run properly by someone who actually knows how to manage properties. And us? Thomas asked quietly. You have until noon to remove any personal items from your regular suite. After that, you'll need a reservation and my approval to enter this building. You'd throw your own family out? Margaret's voice shook with disbelief. You made it very clear I was never really family, I replied. Just the quiet wife who didn't know her place. Well, now my place is at the top of this building, while you're standing in my lobby without permission. I nodded to security. Please escort them out. Through the service entrance, of course. We wouldn't want to damage their image by having them seen leaving through the front door. As they were led away, Victoria turned back. You'll regret this. No, I smiled. I regret not doing it sooner. The transformation of the Hamilton Grand began immediately. We renovated, modernized, and turned it into the city's premier luxury hotel. The society pages buzzed with speculation about the mysterious Bennett Properties owner who'd outmaneuvered the Hamilton family. Thomas signed the divorce papers without a fight, finally understanding just how much he'd underestimated his quiet wife. Victoria tried to sue, but her lawyers dropped the case as soon as they saw the ownership documents. 6 months later, I sat in my penthouse office, reviewing applications for the winter charity gala season. The Hamiltons had submitted a request, probably hoping enough time had passed. Should I send the standard rejection? Claire asked. I thought about it, then smiled. No. Approve it, but with conditions. They can attend by entering through the service entrance. Isn't that petty? Claire grinned. No, it's educational. Sometimes people need to experience what they inflicted on others to truly understand. Last week, a business magazine wanted to interview me about Bennett Properties' success. They asked why I'd kept my empire secret from my husband's family for so long. I showed them a photo from last year's gala. Me standing by the service entrance, playing the quiet wife one last time. Sometimes success is sweeter when those who dismissed you never see it coming. The Hamilton Grand's front doors still shine with the same golden gleam, but now they open only for those who've earned the right to enter. The service entrance, though, remains exactly as it was, a reminder that every entrance holds possibility if you're smart enough to use it. Yesterday, I watched Victoria pull up to the hotel, hesitate at the main entrance, then slowly make her way to the service door. Lesson learned. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just buying their venue. It's making them use the same doors they once forced you through. And sometimes, just sometimes, the quiet wife they dismissed becomes the owner they have to beg for access.